So my name is Yelizaveta Zinchenko, but I go by Liz. And I am actually really brave. I grew up in Azerbaijan, look that up, moved here as an immigrant, 7 brothers, no parental support, wasn't meant to go to college. I think I was supposed to just get married and have kids at 16, and I chose not to do that. Walked away, kind of just said no to the culture I grew up in, and that was really scary. So I'd like to think that I was really brave in doing that.
Maybe not. Hold on.
Hey, I'm okay with this. I will just keep talking about my life story and how I was brave. I'll just, what else am I brave in?
No, we broke this.
Okay, when he first asked it, I thought we were just gonna have to talk about something on the slide, like on the go, and I was just gonna give a talk about how to survive 7 brothers. I thought that could be good. I call them Monday through Sunday, and I'm Wednesday midnight. So I'm 3rd, 2 older, 5 younger. They basically acted like that. This is perfect. I'm gonna stand over here. They acted like this, and I was put in so many chokeholds, I had to cry because I refused to tap out because I still have balls. So I would cry, and then when they would let me out of that chokehold, then I would like kick them and run away, and then try to have somebody help me. So because of all this brotherness, I did actually leave home at 14 and put myself into boarding school. Called them up and was just like, hey guys, I gotta get out of this mousetrap. I don't like the cheese. I was born with the cheese, but I'd like to have choices in America, so I'm gonna go for that. And I actually did also rollerblade with no helmets. That was my public transportation because my father tried to charge me to take me to appointments. So I rollerbladed, and this is pretty much what my brain looked like when I was a kid trying to survive. Like, I just had no idea what was going on, and all I could do was just buy myself underwear and Pop-Tarts and Dr. Pepper and like get straight A's so I could get more financial aid. And I did that in high school, and then I did that in college. Thankfully, of all the things my father did make us do, he did not do dental work. But there was a whole lot of DIY, and then I also ended up figuring out my own health insurance and putting braces on, and then paying to get them off when I couldn't afford to keep them as a high schooler. So thankfully that never happened. As a result, I didn't really know how to dream. So it really just annoyed me that people would just ask me what my dreams were, and I was like, it's just to eat and have a safe place to live. I just like when you grow up in the inner city and you're on food stamps and Section 8 housing, you feel like this. You're like, everyone's like, but you look so normal and you don't sound like an immigrant. And I'm like, you're just looking at me from the outside. You think you see some pretty, whatever you see with a degree, but on the inside, this is what I feel like. Like, who am I, really? And I've always wanted to dance. Save the Last Dance was my favorite movie because I grew up as the only white person around a whole bunch of black people who had way more rhythm than I did. So it's actually my dream to figure out what that dance is and to like perform in it at some point, but not ballet. And with counseling, this is easier because they just tell you to put that boulder down, and they say, hey, is that your boulder? Are you actually responsible for that boulder, or do you just not want to carry that anymore? So I stopped. And ironically enough, because I had to put myself through everything I put myself through with my own money, I'm really good at money, and that's one of my skills, and that's what I do for work, and I actually really enjoy balancing budgets and occasionally being on time and I guess transporting myself somewhere. I do though, I move pretty fast, so people actually are really annoyed by how fast I move, so I guess I'm the biker next to the jogger that looks like they're not moving, and I'm like, I'm already there, why are you taking so long? Usually when it comes to your money, when you're still wondering what your problem is, and I've already solved why you lost all your money. Part of all of this has been like a journey of self, because when you're younger, or in my situation, there's not a whole lot of like healthy food or whatever. So actually, interestingly enough, I spent the last year or so figuring out how to like take care of myself. This whole self-care thing was like really real for me because I just didn't have that as much growing up. And I really do love tech. Like, I feel like my brain, I should have actually probably not gone to liberal arts school and majored in Russian language and literature. What I should have done was take my math-brained self to coding school. But I work with a lot of tech startups, and that kind of helps keep me going and keeps me engaged. How many more slides are there? Dreams. Again, I'm totally okay if you don't have any. Let's discover what they are together, because that's just a really hard question to answer. Like, that triangle, when you're trying to have your psychological needs met, like, that's me trying to have my psychological needs met first. I'm like, can somebody provide me with shelter and clothes and food? And then I will talk about what makes me really happy. That is the opposite of me. I guess I call myself a hard shell with a gooey center, and I guess it's always bothered me that people don't realize that there's a softie inside. She just has to feel safe first. And so when I come in to work with clients and their money, I try to make sure that they feel safe as I unpack their finances. And that's totally me, a badass superhero person. I call myself the answer, because it's a play on how Russian parents say the answer. And so I feel like I've been trying to convince my mom that I do things in America that are awesome, but she doesn't really cultural disconnect. For sure, yes to all of this. I don't read slides, so yes. And there are limits, though. Y'all need limits. That's why y'all need me, because y'all think there are no limits, and then you screw up your finances, and then you call me. And I guess that's true. I think there's actually something I heard the other day about what would happen if the thought of what could be overwhelmed the thought of what you're afraid of. And so that's kind of just the personal journey that I'm on. And I'm totally a freelance warrior, because I stepped away from, I guess, a stable paycheck. Considering the background that I've come from, walking away from a stable paycheck was really hard for me, but it's kind of where I am. And I don't like to be told what to do, so it's really just, it helps. I don't think I could go back. The end.